Now, it's true, when I started this channel, I said I was going to talk about classic rock. And as you probably have figured out from my past episodes, my interest in music really was dominated in the late 60s and early 70s. But classic rock didn't stop there. And so I'm going to expand a little bit with this episode, and I'm going to talk about an act that really came to prominence in 1977. So they started out in Boston. They had a number of different names until they decided they were going to jump in that car and drive down the street. So you want to hear more about the Cars? Then let's drop the needle. All 5 of the members who became the Cars were in a variety of different bands earlier on in Boston. Here's some of the names. They were once called the Milkwood. Then they became Richard and the Rabbits. And then for a short time they were known as Captain Swing. In 1976, the main songwriter decided they needed a change of names. They needed to let the good times roll. And so they became the Cars. The band was made up of Rick Ocasek on rhythm guitar and vocals, Benjamin Orr on bass and vocals, Elliot Easton on lead guitar, Greg Hawkes on keyboards, and David Robinson on drums. Once they settled on the name the Cars, pardon the expression, they decided to hit the road. So in 1977, they toured around New England, but they had recorded a demo of a song called Just What I Needed. And radio stations in the Boston area picked up on this and started playing it. As a result, a number of record companies wanted to see what the Cars had underneath their hood. And so they got signed by Elektra Records. Their first album came out in June of 1978, and it was a huge hit, and it stayed on the charts for 140 weeks. It contains the hit single, Just What I Needed, My Best Friend's Girl, Good Times Roll, and I like You're All I've Got Tonight, and Moving in Stereo. For a debut album, the Cars was a stunner, and it hit number 18 in the US charts, and as I said, lasted for over 140 weeks. They quickly followed the success of their first album with their second album, just released a year later. It's called Candy-O, and it was even a bigger hit for them. It had 2 hit singles, Let's Go and It's All I Can Do, and I Like, Double Life, Candy-O, Night Spots, and Dangerous Type. The album soared to number 3 on the charts. For their next album, the Cars decided to tour a little bit away from their pop music and get into more experimental music. The album is called Panorama. It had the hit single Touch and Go, Panorama, Gimme Some Slack, Don't Tell Me No, Running to You, and Up and Down. And although it hit number 5 in the charts, the critics absolutely hated it. In 1981, they released their next album, Shake It Up, which contains their big hit, Shake It Up. Also has another hit, Since You're Gone. I also like I'm Not the One, Cruiser, A Dream Away, and Maybe Baby. To support this album and their previous ones, they toured extensively. But they were getting burned out, so they decided to take a break for the next 2 years. After the break in 1984, they got together again and recorded what would be their most successful album called Heartbreak City. It contains the big hits You Might Think, which went on to receive the Video of the Year award at the first MTV Music Video Awards in 1984. Other hits on this album are Magic, Hello Again, Why I Can't Have You, and Drive. Now, speaking of the song Drive, the Cars performed that at the Live Aid concert, which was in Philadelphia. The subsequent successes, including that Live Aid performance, vaulted the Cars to superstardom. And they released another hit, Tonight She Comes, and then a greatest hits album. But with all the success, once again the Cars decide to split. Easton and Orr release solo records, and Ocasek releases his second solo, This Side of Paradise. In 1987, they get back together again, and they release their next album called Door to Door. It contains their last big hit, You Are the Girl, and 2 follow-up singles that didn't do very well, Strap Me In and Coming Up to You. But the album stalls. They went on tour to support the album, but you could tell the Cars were running out of gas, and so in 1988, they disbanded. After the breakup, Benjamin Orr performed with a variety of groups, but then sadly he died of pancreatic cancer in 2000. Ric Ocasek performed as a solo artist, releasing 7 albums. He also became known as a well-respected producer for other acts. Robinson quit music and worked in a restaurant. But the Cars weren't really done, and they reformed again in 2010 with an album called Move Like This. The album includes Sad Song, Blue Top, Too Late, Take Another Look, and It's Only. Typically, they toured to support it, but in 2011, they broke up again. But just the next year, in 2018, the Cars regroup once again, just in time to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But sadly, in 2019, Ric Ocasek dies at the age of 72. Now, as usual, I've created a Spotify playlist. Here's the link to it, and I'll put it down in the comments so you can listen to the Cars songs that I've been talking about in this episode. When you think about the Cars, you think about how many hit singles that they had over the years, how they won that MTV Video Music Award, how they defined, for a period of time there, music in the late 70s moving into the 1980s. As the Cars used to say, you're just what I needed. So thank you for watching, and keep it rockin'.
If you liked this episode, hit the like button, and you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.